And today we are going to take a roll around Lake Highlands and take a look at this really great renovated home that also has a pool and is under 600,000.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
And that's why I was like, we have to feature this because it's not quite an Easter egg or a unicorn, but it is a really great home.
Mm-hmm.
What's in the second half, Jeff?
In the second segment, we're going to talk about climate change and how it relates to insurance, because it is having a big impact.
It was, and it is. I mean, we saw the devastation that happened in North Carolina, and so we reached out to Tammy, who is the insurance carrier in our office, and she had a lot of great information and worked with us to put this together. So we're going to give you that information and her contact information, and hopefully everyone stays safe and insured. So, Jeff, it's a wonderful weekend, and it's pretty. So let's talk about what's going to be happening in the future and happening this weekend.
So the first thing is this Kips Bay event. I have never been to this. Have you been to it before?
I have not been to it, and I'm so excited because I'm going this year.
Good. Tell them what it is.
So this is over there at $29.99. It's a rotating house, and this year it'll be at $29.99 Turtle Creek, and it is where multiple designers get together, and it's a fundraiser. Benefits Boys and Girls Club, Crystal Charity, Dwell with Dignity, and they all take and are assigned a room, and they come in and they do these amazing, over-the-top, I dare I say, creations.
Mm-hmm.
That is awe-inspiring. And so this is a really great time to walk through all the different rooms. They create really interesting rooms. And so it's a wonderful time. Buy your ticket in advance. It is only in town for 3 weeks, and it is a wonderful event.
And tickets are only $50 unless you go the first night.
And then I don't know what they are.
They're $500.
That's a lot for the first night, but it's worth it. The second thing that we're going to talk about is what is happening this weekend and this weekend only. Actually, it's only on Saturday, and this is called Art Walk West. And this is over there at the Fabrication Yard, I think is what they call it.
Tin Yard.
Tin Yard, over there by Trinity Groves. And what is unique about this is not a art fair that you would go to and people from around the United States traveling come to. No, these are local artists. They are opening up their own studios. I love studio visits. Studio visits are when you actually get to see work that's being completed. You get to visit with the artist, and they have some wonderful people. Dan Lamb is here. Jeremy Biggers is here. Ricardo Paniagua will be here. Will Heron is here. You've probably seen most of these people's work in and around town. This is a chance to get to see it up close and personal and actually talk to them.
And buy.
Oh, buy it, please buy it. There's also a couple of galleries that'll be on here, but again, this is only on Saturday, and it is not a super late one. I think it ends, Zach, does that say it ends at 5 o'clock on the homepage? I think it says right at the top. Just want to make sure.
5 p.m. Yeah,
5.
11
11 to 5.
p.m.
Don't dilly-dally. You drink after, not before, okay? People focus. And Jeff, what's the other one?
The last thing is this is the Troubadour Festival. And this is going on in Salina, going on this weekend. And if I were going to be in town, I would be at it.
Oh my gosh, this thing started in A&M. There are, buy your tickets in advance. There are 40 different pit masters that will be here and restaurants. And then there are 8 different bands that will be performing. So I think that the food goes probably almost all the day, but then I think your night is when it really starts to get kicked up. This seems like it's a marathon, and it also seems like it needs to be sponsored by Rolaids.
Right.
So plan ahead and go have a great time. Sounds like fun. I'd do it.
So let's look at Market Watch.
What is happening, Jeff?
So coming soons down 12%, down to, but there's still 68 coming soons. New active listings were up 2% last week to 584,
Shocking.
and option periods were down 9% last week.
We expect that. So pendings also went up, which, wow, that is not what we expected right now. So that's only up 1, but still great. Solds flatline basically down 2%, which is 40 units to 216. No surprise there. This is all cyclical. We will see these begin to shoot up as we enter into the end of the month. Mortgage rates, look at that, 6.417. That is for our 30-year confix. This information is provided by Optimal Blue. Check it out. This information is really easy for us to compile, whether it's a zip code, a school district, whatever it is, we can do it. And this is a really great way for you to understand what's happening in the market so that when you decide to make a decision, you can make the best and the fastest decision. What do you think?
Let's jump into our house.
Start her up.
So our house this week is at 10418 Robindale Drive. This is in Dallas, and this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, about 1,900 square feet, and it's priced at $595.
This is an easy get-around neighborhood. So this is adjacent to the L streets. You know the M streets, which are a little bit closer to 75. This is the L streets. One of the great things is you have Plano and you have Abrams that are your north-south. But because of the location to 635 adds a different element to this, being able to get around Dallas. And it's so important.
It is.
Especially with the way they've cleaned it up.
Yeah, and you've got Walnut Hill that goes right just south of there. That's that first big street south that goes all the way across the city.
And if you're not from Dallas, you're thinking about moving here, Dallas is wonderful when it comes to airports. So we've got Love Field that's kind of in the heart of the city, which I would say probably going to be a 30-minute Uber ride away.
Probably.
Stay on 635. That will get you into the north entrance of DFW Airport. This is an international airport. Wonderful because there are so many nonstop flights to your destination.
So in the area, tell us about one of the first things in the area, Weston.
So we like to hit it up and tell you all about what locals love to do in this area. In this area, there is a studio called FC Clayworks. FC Clayworks is owned by, I can't remember their names, but these two gentlemen that own it, they are very focused.
One of them starts with an F and one of them starts with a C, I'll bet.
Look at that, it's John Campbell, so you're right, C. There you go. This is actually wonderful. We toured this facility last weekend. One of the things about this that I love is that they have classes. So if you want to have a date night, they've got you covered. If you've got kids, they've got you covered. If you have an introductory class you're interested in, or if you're interested in making something more detailed like vessels with lids, they have it. It is constantly changing. I know a lot of the actual instructors there. This is a wonderful asset, and I think it is going to be one of those things that continues to stay in the area and will continue to grow, and we'll see that happen.
One of the other things that's in the area is Vector Brewery. Now, Vector Brewery is at the corner of Walnut Hill and Ardelia. I've been there myself multiple times. It is a really very kid-oriented or kid-friendly restaurant. Of course, it's like Highlands. You got a lot of people there with kids. Wonderful pizza. You can go to the bar, order the pizza, come back, sit down. Pizza's ready in 15 minutes. It's really great.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which is shocking. They also have a barrel room that you can rent. Events. These people are on top of it. They have cooking classes. They have Mommy and Me karaoke, trivia night, and they also do performances on the patio. So if you are looking for an all-inclusive,
This is it.
this is it. All right, White Rock Lake Dog Park. So
I've been here multiple times too.
will tell us about it. Which one of your dogs loves this place?
All of them have.
Really?
Yeah, this is really, it's a City of Dallas off-leash dog park right at White Rock Lake. They've got 2 separately gated areas, one for larger dogs, one for smaller dogs. And this is the 2-acre park for the larger dogs. Cannon goes wild when I take him over there. Yeah, he just goes wild.
So one of the things about this is I remember like years ago when I would take one of my dogs, there was a faucet that dripped incessantly and made a mud bath. And I remember watching labs just come out coated. Now, one of the other things about White Rock Lake is it actually has entrance into the White Rock Lake, and it is a little pavilion. If you don't know that your dog can swim, this is a great place to test it out. And if your dog does love to swim, this is the place to take them in the summer.
Man, the dogs that swim there never get tired of swimming there. I mean, the owner's just like constantly throwing the ball or whatever, the toy out and back out in the lake.
It's amazing. And if it's nothing else, just go take a beer and watch these dogs. It's quite something to look at. So let's jump into this house at 10418 Robindale. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1,900 square feet, built in 1962. And it's priced at $595,000.
And that's a heck of a year to be built.
Okay, good to know.
Really great drive up on this house. I love how they built the little wooden wall with kind of the mid-century nod. Covered front porch. A lot of these windows have been replaced, so you still get the style of the older windows, but you have the new double insulated panes.
And Jeff, I was really surprised at this price point. You're getting almost 3 living areas. This is your formal living. Again, if that's not what you need, it has the opportunity to be super flexible in the way that this mid-century modern lives. You have vaulted ceilings. You have a formal on the other side. I love the fact that you have this brick wall right here, which is an interesting architectural element that kind of like lines up with that front door. They have done a great job with the staging because it kind of reflects both what mid-century modern look is. And in this next picture, you're going to see one more architectural detail that is an element that runs the length of this room right here. So this is a really well thought out, keeping the old and mixing it with the new.
I agree. The leaving that element in, I think, really kind of key. I don't think it would look right without that.
So you see here, you have got a kitchen, and it's a great kitchen that's tucked in. Both new appliances have been applied, countertop with that kitchen island. It's a really smart decision in the way that they've used that entire back wall, kept the light cabinets and countertops so that it blends in, because this is an open floor plan.
And that's your second living area, that is the den, let's say, and fireplace, really great size. You got room for your big sectional in there. And this all looks out on the backyard. You can see how much light just pours in through those windows.
That is a key element to mid-century modern houses, is when they have strong indoor-outdoor feels. One of the things that we also want to note is in this house, they've replaced all of the cast iron under the house. A house built in 1962, that is a critical element. A lot of times we like to tell our clients that the heavy lifting has been done, and this is one of the heaviest items. So seeing that this has been done, this is not only looks good, but this house has the ability to live really well as well.
It really does. And the roof was replaced just this year. So again, like Weston was saying, another one of the heavy lifting things taken care of.
Looking here, we have master bedroom that is really pretty big sized. It has extra space here, as you can see, as they have it set up for a table. One of the things I love about this is having access to the backyard. And you're going to see later why I think this is such a key element, but it really helps create that flow for indoor outdoor. I think it would appeal to so many different buyers the way it's set up.
I would agree. And this is a master bath, double-headed shower, really a spacious shower, much bigger than what you would normally find in a home this size.
And I think it's funny because not many people know how important a double-headed shower is. A lot of times you just get a single. It is great that we have both vanities as well. They were smart, used a single mirror right here. Everything is raised up, making it easy to keep it nice and clean. You have a little extra space there on the side. Now this is where things really changed. This backyard, this is a hero shot, is what I would call it.
I would say that too. Beautiful, beautiful, wonderful backyard. Really great pool that it looks like it's really been cared for. You commented on how nice the coping was that went around it.
And it's got a wonderful hot tub that spills over into that tub. I like the pergola, the way that it's angled. Again, that kind of reflects the roof line of the house. Again, these are things that everybody takes into consideration, and it just makes everything work so much better. Good indoor-outdoor space. As you can see here, it's not only a 2-car garage, but also has a 2-car carport, which is huge. This is the garage. I think what is interesting about the way this garage and flagstone work together is that if you were needing a cabana, this garage could almost double as a cabana.
It would make a great cabana.
Right? So this is 10418 Robindale. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, built in 62, 1,900 square feet, priced at $595,000, which is $313 a square foot.
And so if you'd like to see any more pictures of the house, just click on the link below. And if you'd like to see the house, certainly reach out to us. We would love to make that happen.
We want to say thank you so much to Amy Timmerman for allowing us to feature this wonderful home. And with that, we'll be right back.
Did you know there are a lot of ways you can keep up with us? For starters, every Wednesday at noon, we host Sold with Updike Pugh, live from our Facebook and YouTube channels. Our show is dedicated to featuring some of the best homes in the Dallas market and about sharing timely information about market trends. But don't worry if you miss the show, because you can always listen to them on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify.
Still want more? Follow us on Instagram, where you get a first-hand look at what it's like to be a realtor. It's not always previewing homes for clients or getting them ready to go live in MLS. Lastly, visit our website and you'll be able to create a custom home search tailored specifically to your wants and needs that's timely and accurate. Whether it's square foot, location, or the neighborhood, we have you covered.
If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, we can help with that too. Just visit homeprice.fyi, enter a few pieces of information like your home address, and we'll email you a price. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.
Welcome back to the second segment, episode 289 of Sold with Updike Pugh. I'm Jeff Updike.
I am Weston Pugh, and today we thought it would be timely for us to talk about climate change related homeowners insurance coverage.
It's really become an issue.
It has become a huge issue, and I think that just within the last 2 weeks, some of the catastrophic events that happened because of both Helena and Milton, we thought this would be timely. Tammy Farmer actually is an insurance manager in our office, and she actually helped us come up with the segment. And so we want to just hit some of the highlights that will help you to make sure you and your family and your belongings are all covered.
So scientists have been warning about climate change since the 70s, and there's not really a lot that there's certainly been periods where their carbon emission type gases have been reduced, but it seemed like they just continue to grow and grow and grow.
And because of this, we've seen storms, hurricanes that are astronomical in size. I saw research the other day that showed how much these have increased in size over the last 5 and 10 years. One of the things we're also seeing is that not only do these hurricanes create huge bands of flooding, but they also spawn monster sets of tornadoes. I believe just with Helena, there were some 80 different tornado warnings issued across the Southwest.
I think at one time, at one point, there were 9 tornadoes on the ground in northern Florida, or in part of Florida.
And that's just because of the tornado.
Just because of Helene.
Yep. Hurricane bands.
Yep, just because of that.
We also have a huge risk for wildfires, and whether it's not just a California seasonal issue, we have seen this just this year. The Panhandle of Texas had several issues where actual major alerts and highways were in closure. This is a huge devastation to both land, plants, animals, but also property.
And water backups are actually a really big risk, and you need to know if you've got coverage for this, because this is we were talking about the example earlier of a homeowner that has a septic system. They're not on a municipal sewer system, and when they get heavy rains, that can flood and back up into their house,
which is something that could create a huge number of problems. Understanding your perils of your insurance policy. Perils are referred to as an event causing damage such as water, wind, or fire. Home insurance policies affect which perils are covered and excluded.
And policies, this is one of the big differences in what different companies cover. And so you really, I hate to say it, you have to read your insurance policy.
And this is one of those situations where you could be in Asheville, North Carolina, and not need flood insurance because you're not in a FEMA flood map. And the record is that 0.7% of them had flood insurance. And then when Helene came through, it wiped out thousands of buildings. This is a really tough situation for people to find themselves in when it's too late. So let's talk a little bit about flood insurance. Jeff, I got a question for you. Is flood insurance automatically included in your homeowner's coverage?
Never.
Okay, never.
Never.
Would you like to expand on that?
Flood insurance is not provided by insurance companies. Flood insurance is provided by it's almost a government agency that issues it. And the rates are really based upon how big of a risk factor you have. Like people in Asheville that are nowhere near a body of water that have flood, that wanted to get flood insurance, it probably would have cost them a couple $100 a year, let's say. Maybe that's a little low, but it would have been negligible. But if you are next to a body of water that has a history of flooding, I mean, they could run you another $1,500 a year.
So you don't have to live in a flood zone to buy flood insurance.
Not at all.
You also are not covered the minute you sign up for that coverage.
That is correct. It takes 30 days for that to get in force.
So if a tornado or season is approaching and it's within 30 days, you could be in trouble.
That's exactly right.
So deductibles for wind, hail, and hurricanes. This is something that we have been talking about all summer because we have seen this really begin to shift. I think that a lot of people had their policies updated and everybody was out searching. And they have really changed to 2 and to 3% right now of the policy.
Insurance companies have really lost a lot of money over the last 4 or 5 years. And they have to be able to have some return to shareholders. But the state of Texas really is the one that licenses insurance companies to be here, and part of that rate is what kind of deductible you're going to take.
And so here's an example: 2% on a $550,000 home would be $11,000. Now, if it was 3%, that would be $16,500, and that's probably what you're looking at to replace your roof.
Absolutely.
That's your out of pocket.
Yeah,
So,
and you really, if it's only $5,000 more, do you really want to file a claim
Exactly.
to get that $5,000? Because they're going to get the $5,000 back over the course of the next few years just because you've got a claim.
Now, we don't think that any of these weather events are going to suddenly miraculously stop. And so I think what we need to talk about now is what is the best way to prepare in the future for these risks?
So number one, review your policy. Go over it in detail with your insurance agent. Read the policy and see what's covered. And if it's not specifically stated in there that it is covered, it is not covered.
100%.
They tell you what they're covering. So you need to read that and think about what scenarios you might be going through.
Unlike a real estate contract that says exclusions, their policies do not say exclusions. It only says, like you said, what's covered. Also, an experienced agent. This is why I think it is so important to have a clear understanding with who you're working with, how long have they been in the business, who is the company that they represent, and can they make time for you to sit down? Because if they can't make time for you when things are good, are they going to make time for you when things are tough?
Right. And stay up to date. The FEMA flood maps change. They're updated regularly. It used to be they were updated every 10 years, but now because of climate change and the impact it's having, they're getting updated more and more often.
So last but not least, let's talk about prioritizing your cover. This is when people are so focused just on the premium that they forego some of these coverages that they need, even though it doesn't seem like it's a possibility. So don't prioritize that premium.
I went through a review this last year and changed insurance companies, and the phone call just to go through with one company was an hour and 15 minutes. So you really have to devote the time to do this.
Yep. So by understanding these risks and staying informed, home buyers can reduce the financial burdens caused by catastrophic weather events. Last but not least, we'd like to give you Tammy Farmer's information. Reach out to her. She is wonderful. Text, call. She will make it happen.
She will. So we hope you found this helpful. If there's any other topics you'd like for us to talk about, just let us know in the comments below.
And just remember, we want to be realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.